We went for a bath outside to give that sort of hot tub feeling, but not on a hot tub budget. At night time it's really awesome because the eels come out in the river and you can feed them an egg. It's just a really solid, quick, easy structure, and budget-wise on the cheaper side too. There's a bucket inside and they're interchangeable, so you just take them away and put the new one in. Kia ora, I'm Donna, this is Riverbell Glamping and this is our Geodome. Come and check it out. Welcome inside the Geodome. This is our main living area. So we have our bedroom and our lounge in this dome. First thing you notice obviously when you walk in is our king size bed. We chose a king size bed just for the fact that we aimed at couples for our retreat. We get how busy everybody is, so we wanted to make a luxurious night away for parents and couples just to get away from it all. King size is luxury, so that's why we went with the king size bed. Our side tables are just a quick pick really, and it was just come from an idea that I had that I wanted to have living things inside the dome so it's not so sterile. So we have got actual living plants inside the side tables for something a bit different. We've also managed to squeeze in a little fire in here for the winter months when it gets a bit cold. The dome comes with insulation, which is actually kind of heavy duty really for what it is, and it's amazing. In the winter months with the fire going, you wouldn't know that it's 5 degrees outside Celsius. And it really helps at keeping the dome cool in summer when we close the curtains to stop the sun coming in and doors open. And we've got these little porthole windows that can open to let in the fresh air as well. We keep the portholes open most days, just lets air circulate around the place because it is literally a plastic bubble at the end of the day. So it just needs to be refreshed and have fresh air going through it. We had really heaps of fun making this space. My husband pretty much built everything else that was in here, so it's quite personal and we tried to make it as homely as we could. So now we're in the lounge side part of the dome. It's really nice. We've got this big clear open window that looks out over to the Mango Ora River. In the afternoon, the sun literally beams in here, so it's so nice on an autumn or winter day to sit here with your cup of coffee or your glass of wine and just be in the sunbeams. It's really nice. So our seats are just from a local store, and I went with them just for the natural side of it, being leather and wood. We kind of don't really like plastic around here. We try to stay away from that as much as we can, apart from the plastic Geodome, which is quite ironic. The table was handmade by myself and my husband. It was we had a tree fall over on the property, so we just cut a nice ring off that and gave it some love, and now we've got a unique coffee table. We've got a little stove which is made by a guy out of his garage, and he's getting quite big now because they're actually amazing. It does, except you do have to chop your wood smaller, but it just puts out so much heat, and it's just perfect for tiny little spaces like this. In summertime it does get really hot in here, so we opted for the option of a solar fan, which is amazing, and you just flick it on, and if there's clouds, it just doesn't go obviously, and then when it's got direct sunlight it really does suck out the heat, especially if you've got the portholes open. It just brings that breeze right through the dome and cools it down really quickly. So the construction of the dome, it took us 2 days, and I think that if we were to do it again, you'd be able to do it easily in 1 day. So the actual design of the Geodome makes it super solid. Like we get winds of up to and over, well over actually, 100 kilometres an hour. When you're in here, you don't even notice. You can hear the door rattling before you would even feel or notice that the dome is moving. So it's super safe. So we found with the dome, it is so solid and warm. It's just a really solid, quick, easy structure, and budget-wise on the cheaper side too. So this would actually be, I could see this working very well for someone who was wanting a cheaper lifestyle, because you could easily have off it other domes. So this could be your bedroom. You could have another dome as your living space connected onto another dome that's yet again your bathroom, kitchen. For under $100,000 you could build yourself a quirky little dome home. So we chose to build a ablution block because we started off with a canvas tent, and just being with the Taranaki weather, raining, sunshine, sleet in 1 day, the mould just took over and the wind was just crazy. We left the ablution block as is and just changed out the tent to the dome. So we still have the kitchen and a separate bathroom in the ablution block. So this all originated as I had, at the time, a 2-year-old going on 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I was getting really antsy at home and being very aware of not bringing in an income. But we simply couldn't afford for me to go to work at an 8 to 5 job and pay for daycare. It just didn't add up. So we had this land. This is actually my parents' farm, and when the time comes, we will take the farm over. So this was just an obvious option that we could do something with this. We started with a canvas tent, and for a long term it wasn't going to work. So we upgraded to this geodesic dome, and we've just never looked back. I just think it's the bee's knees. This is the best option for us for a glamping situation. My advice for someone that's wanting to build one of these is just do it. We were a little bit hesitant when we first did it, but my ethos was just, if you build it, they will come, and they sure did. I mean, at the end of the day, it's an amazing investment. Even if you don't have guests coming in, it is such a great space to be in that you and your family, I'm sure, will get enough use out of it, even with family members coming to stay. And yeah, it's great. So we're in the kitchen now. My husband is a cabinet maker, so this is all his fine work. This used to be the cupboard purely for the solar kit. We were on solar for about 2 years, and we upgraded last year to mains power. Solar wasn't keeping up with the needs of the guests. So now we've just turned it into a pantry, and we've got a little air fryer / oven that guests can use, just an electric cooktop. And then we just have our kettle with tea, coffee, etc., condiments. And we've got our rack up here with the wine glasses and your coffee pot and your thing. And then above the fridge is the plates and cutlery and stuff like that. So the bench area just has a sink in it, and we had to sort of scale everything down because it's such a small space. So we went for a small cooktop and a small tub that basically is not much bigger than cleaning your plates in, but because we just needed as much space as we could. The cabinets we went for are just stock standard cutlery drawers, etc., but we went with cattle ear tags for the drawer handles just to be a little bit unique and stand out. And it's silly, but it's just all our birthdays and anniversaries and things like that, so we've tried to make it all a bit more personalised, and it's just different. So we just bought a very slimline refrigerator with a small ice box in it. Our longest guest has stayed for 4 nights, so we don't really need too much storage on the fridge side of things. And we also have our kitchen diner seats that are saddles, just sort of different experience for the guests. People hang out here quite a bit, and I think the saddle seats are probably a big draw card for that. Plus, when you're sitting here and eating, you're looking straight down at the river, which is quite nice. You can sit here and, well, one's cooking and one can be sitting there with a glass of wine and looking out at the landscape. So we're in the bathroom now, and we've got a shower, a sink and the loo. We've gone for a compostable loo because we're X amount of metres from the river, that having an underground loo system just wasn't going to work because in fear of a flood or whatever, it could contaminate the river. The compost toilet works by system of there's a bucket inside, and they're interchangeable, so you just take them away and put the new one in, and then you can let that compost before you have to deal with the contents. So it seems to work really good. Our toilet roll paper holder was found in one of the sheds. It's an old shearing handpiece for the shearing sheep. I basically went around the whole farm, sheds and everything, and just tried to pull out as much quirky, different things that would make it a bit more memorable for people, and giving stuff a second life, repurposing. Our faucets are copper piping, and I wanted to go for that really industrial, with water pipes going to troughs, etc. This is what all the taps are. So I wanted to kind of bring the farm element in. This sink, we've actually just traded it out. It used to be an old steel cleaning bucket just for that sort of rustic feel, but it actually started going rusty, so we switched it out and we started to go towards the more luxurious side of things. And yeah, again, this bit of timber is off the farm as well. Again, I wanted to go for something different to stand out and be unique, bring that farming element in, with our towel holders being actual deer antlers. So we get water here. We use the water supply from the farm, which is actually from a well water site. We get that tested quarterly, and we also have double filtration and UV filtration before it gets to you. And we've got just gas and hot water, so it's like a infinity system. Again, if I was to do it differently, we would probably go a higher spec, maybe a bit more tiling. This started out as very organic. Every year we try and update and renew things as we go. It'll be 2 years now we've had the dome, possibly going on to 3. Back then, that was pre-COVID and all that sort of stuff. I think we bought the dome for $7,000. I think it was about $1,000 of shipping costs and tax through customs, etc. And then we had to spend a little bit, maybe another $1,000 on moving the heater and stuff. We had to engineer some different things. We didn't really plan on doing this as such for a length of time. When we started this was just going to be more of a side hustle. We didn't think that it would be as popular as it is. We thought we'd get the odd weekend. Now we're at the point where we are solidly booked every month. So it's been so popular now that we're actually thinking about putting in another one up the river further on a completely different site. And we're just going to see where it takes us. But for as far as I can see, this will be in our future in some form. Right, so we're in the outdoor bathtub area now, which is just on the side of the kitchen. We've got a resin bath, which is UV treated or is not affected by UV rays. We went for a bath outside to give that sort of hot tub feeling, but not on a hot tub budget. We originally had a clawfoot bathtub here, but being out in the elements all the time, it was really hard to keep it from rusting. We find that pretty much every single guest uses the tub, and rain, snow, thunder, they love it. When it is a beautiful night, you just lie in here and look straight up at the stars. And also there's a gap in the trees over there where you look straight at Mount Taranaki. It was all done by accident, but it's perfectly placed to just sit and stare at the mountain. So when we put the new bathtub in, we extended the deck out and put a new cleaner deck in. The Geodome also sits on a deck to keep it off the ground and away from the weather. We did contemplate at one stage linking all the decks up together. As we said, we're still always doing and upgrading, so we'll think of something else for that. So we're down at the fire pit now next to the stream. This was an old sailing boat that we got, and we obviously chopped in half and made it into like a love seat. The other half of the boat is used as just another little seat, different seating options. I got this idea off Pinterest actually, and I just fell in love with it, and I thought it really fit in with the river and the boat theme. This originally was grass, but as I said, we keep upgrading, and we've put some pebbles down and hemmed it in with some bricks that were off the farm. And at night time, it's really awesome because the eels come out in the river and you can feed them an egg or whatever we want. We've got Big Betty in there, and she's just got herself a boyfriend lately, actually. So we get a few people that have eloped down here, and just for very small weddings. And we've had people get married down the bottom of the steps to the river. And we've had people get married down underneath the pine trees there. And it's just a nice, small, away from everybody, and a different option for people to elope. We have our website, which is riverbellglamping.com, and you can make bookings online there. And we also have an Airbnb listing as well. Thanks so much for coming on a tour in our dome, and we would love to host you one day if you can make it to our part of the world.